I am about to start a new sketchbook, and I don't know about you, but sometimes for me, that can be a little bit intimidating. Like, what do I put on the first page? This is a sea white sketchbook, and I haven't tried this kind of sketchbook before. I think the paper is 140 GSM. Like, it feels decently thick. I'm not sure how wet media will go, but my intention is to use this for different types of mixed media, play, drawing, what have you. And so today, I thought I would just get out a few supplies and play and see where it takes me. So I've got the sketchbook, I've got these Derwent XL charcoal, which comes in different colors. I've used this black a little bit, but the others I haven't used too much. So that might be fun. I've got this watercolor palette that has all Daniel Smith watercolors in there. So these are little nubs that I've cut off the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks and basically created my own palette. And so I'll be using these. I have some Neocolor 2s. This was originally the box of 40. And I've bought extra colors to supplement what I had, and so they don't quite fit in here very well anymore. But there's my Neocolors. I want to practice being free in this sketchbook. So I do have a propensity to get super tight and detailed. And whilst I enjoy that sometimes, definitely a time and a place, I do find it quite relaxing, or more of a brain challenge, I would say, to get loose on things. I'm just going to get some water here on this charcoal. It'll be interesting to see how this paper holds up with the wet media. Just because I haven't used this brand of sketchbook before, and it's not super thick paper, but I'm hopeful that I can use it for this kind of play. So it is warping a little bit. Now I kind of want to press these together and see what happens. Now I have charcoal water all in the spine. Dang it. Okay, that paper is starting to peel a little bit there. So, mental note, don't agitate the paper when it is wet. Okay, what if I put, there's this like yellow ochre color. Oh, a little bit of black fell off there. I may have to wait in between layers for this paper to dry, just because it's not super thick or robust. Now this charcoal isn't necessarily meant for using it the way I'm using it, I don't think. But I'm kind of curious to see if by wetting it, it becomes a little bit more permanent. Oh, maybe, what if I add a little bit more color? What about this teal color maybe? I'm going to hold this. This is a Neocolor 2. I'm just going to hold it by the end so that I'm controlling it less. This is a water-soluble crayon, and they are really fun to use. Just playing a little bit while the paper is wet. And again, this is just having fun, being loose. Not something that I really grew up doing, but it is something that I'm trying to learn to do. Okay. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit and I'll come back. Okay, this is dry. The paper is quite buckled. I mean, I didn't expect for it to be super strong. You can see here where I've put that neo color on the wet paper before. It has come through to the other page. So that is good to know. This wasn't, oh, that's quite wet still there. This wasn't an expensive sketchbook, but it's just good to know how this will hold up, I guess. I mean, if it doesn't work for wet media so much, I'll shift and make it more into like sketches, but hey, it's worth a shot. So I've got the black, like dark gray, black charcoal, this yellow ochre color. Side note, it seems like by putting the water on the charcoal, it's kind of fixed it. I can't really smudge it. So that is good to know, that it's not smudging. Okay, I've got the yellow ochre, the black grey, and this nice like turquoise type color. Let's see, this is called turquoise green, this near color. I want to do something that contrasts with this, and I'm thinking something orangey. So these are my, as I mentioned, my Daniel Smith watercolors in the palette. I kind of want to play with maybe some burnt sienna mixed with this organic vermilion and see how that looks. I can get quite expressive lines with this calligraphy brush. It holds a lot of paint, a lot of liquid here. Just going to squeeze it out of there. Okay, I might get some of this organic vermilion just for some bright kind of orangey mixed to it. And maybe some yellow ochre. I don't really care about getting these dirty because they're really easy to clean off just with a little bit of water on a clean brush and wipe it off, it's fine. So it's still looking a bit earthy, maybe some yellow. Yeah, I think that's more what I'm looking for. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see when it hits the paper. Okay, because this is looking quite dull. I'm trying to like pop it a bit. I like those marks up there. I'm holding the brush by its end, just so that it is harder for me to control it, because otherwise, I know myself, I will get very controlled. Oh, there's some brighter orange just with the vermilion and the Hansa yellow medium. I think I'll do more of that. Take that off the page. If I get some water here and spread that out. I kind of want to do some flicking too. So let me put this palette down. So I'm working on the end of my dining table here with limited space. Whoa, that was a big one. I didn't mean it to be that intense. I'm glad I had the cardboard down over my table. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. I might put some Sumi ink on this. So I've got this bottle here of Yasutomo Sumi ink. You can see I've got paint on it. It's acrylic paint. I like to use this in layering, so I do play with it sometimes, and it's quite fun to get nice expressive marks. So it's very black. Watch this. It's kind of turning into a little bit of a mess, but oh, that's what play is about, right? And it does spread a little bit in water, as you can see. So I've got some wet on wet action happening down here. But it does bring this really nice contrast here. And this is interesting. The neo color is coming through that. It's putting some more in these wet areas where they get watered down a little bit. It's tapping, doing some splatters on here. Quite like that. Okay, this is now dry. I went off and dried it with the hairdryer. What I'm noticing in terms of the paper, you can see where this ink is coming through, where I've weakened that paper from scribbling into it when it was wet before. I think that's fine. I mean, it's just a sketchbook, and I also may use acrylics in here, in this case, which might be good there. I will say I'm having a lot of fun with this. So I might add some of this back over. Well, that goes over the ink really well. Just to bring those lines back there. Bring some brightness. I'm pressing quite hard. Do some loose marks here. Just mix it up, different types of marks. Might repeat the same just here a little bit, just so that they're not, oh, you can see how hard I'm pressing because I am shaking the table. Do I want to add anything else to this? I like the white space up here. I'm almost wishing there was a little bit more white space in here. I do have this golden high flow acrylic. I bought a little sample pack of these high flow acrylics just to see how they compared to acrylic ink. So I thought they might be fun. So I'm just gonna, let's see, this might end in disaster. I'm trying to make sure I'm not squeezing this too hard because I don't want a big blob to come out. But it's kind of fun just drawing with the bottle. I kind of want to shake them up a bit, so what do I want to do? What if I've got this palette knife here, which can be fun for mark making. Again, I'm like probably working this paper harder than I should be, but it's just a sketchbook, so it's fine. As I've realized down here, I just think there's too much color, so I'm going to just white some of this out. Just kind of taking a look at the composition and seeing if it's balanced. Obviously using my finger as a paintbrush. Kind of want a little bit in here to contrast with this black. I don't want to cover all of this up. Just make some of them a little bit less unfold. Just pull some of it back a little bit. And maybe some up here too. This is very grey. I kind of want some clarity there too. I don't really love this light orange under the grey. It just looks a little bit, I don't know, dirty or something. Just not to my taste today, at least. Okay, I might take that off to dry again and then come back and take a look. Okay, I've just hit that with a hairdryer and it's not fully dry. Some of these thicker white fluid acrylics or high flow acrylics are still a bit wet, but what I noticed is these areas that I was kind of applying it with my finger where it was quite thin, it's really hard to see that now. So it's the thinner the application in here, it almost just looks, it's very transparent there now. Because some of this is still a little bit loud for me. This is my squeezy bottle, my trusty squeezy bottle of Novacolor, I've just written it on here, Novacolor Titanium White. And I buy this in, I think I have a gallon of it, and I put it in this squeezy bottle myself. The more I'm looking at some of this, just some of these areas are very busy for me, and I think I just want to cover some of those up. So I'm just going to squeeze some of that directly on. I want to do it in a less controlled manner. I think I'll just do some palette knife smoothing just to... I do like painting with a palette knife because it's just... you just get really interesting marks. It's quite thick there. This will also give the areas of the paper that I'm putting it some more body. Wow, I didn't know. I didn't really mean to cover all of that up, but here we go. It's fine. I probably could have also used gesso, actually. Either just pre-gessoed the pages or even just used gesso to do some of this covering. And one of the reasons gesso might have been good is because it's got a little bit of tooth to it. So layering on some watercolors might have been a fun thing to do. They'll probably have a harder time sticking to this. Am I just going to paint over this whole thing? What am I doing? I do have some of that black ink still in my palette. So what if I... it's probably not great for my brush, considering the paint is still wet. I might put a little bit more of that ink in here though. Ooh, what would happen if I put it on with a palette knife? I don't know if I've done this before. So I know I covered a lot of this up in white just because it was getting a little bit busy. But I do still want to make sure I've got some good contrast in there. Another thing palette knives can be good for, let me see if this works, is it doesn't feel great on your finger because it's metal, but doing some flicks like this. And apparently I'm just making it busy again, but oh well. Sign of a happy artist is a dirty artist, am I right? I want to bring some of this neo back in here. The acrylic's not dry, but that's okay. Neither is the ink. It kind of carves into it when it's not quite dry as well. I feel like I need to stop playing, but I don't know if I even like this, but I guess I'm putting it on YouTube, and at least to show, hey, here's how I have fun and try to play and learn. So what am I learning from this? Well, so far, what I've noticed is I will get busy really quickly. Like what I'm putting on the paper will get busy even if I feel like it's got some good energy. And then all of a sudden, at least with this one, I just kind of went, ugh, too much. Like there was just too much going on here. And so definitely I was feeling that urge to cover it up. And so I did. Just getting, there's some white paint pooled in there. Once I covered it up, when I was covering it up, I feel like I put too much white on. Like, it's like I had this urge, I got really busy and then I had this urge to like, no, too much. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, what did I do? So I tried to bring some more of this energy back in by putting some more of the Sumi ink, some more of the, bringing that neo color, trying to thread it back there. You know what I might do? How's that for a color match? There's a thing you can do with neo colors that I like. So because they are water soluble, you can use it. See, I don't know if you can see, I'm putting these like orange drips on there, or splatters. Again, I'm probably going a little bit, ooh, actually I like that. This is all quite, it's because it's quite wet, just rolling it on here made an interesting mark. Yeah. Ooh, and it's blending in with the ink there when I do that. Okay. Maybe this is what I needed to bring some boldness back in without it looking all wishy-washy. That white paint is still wet there, so it's blending in a bit more than I would like. Maybe that's what I needed with this turquoise green. So this color, by the way, is vermilion. Maybe that's what I needed to do with this turquoise, with the turquoise green. I'm just going to unwrap some of this so I can dip the tip in some water. All right, so I've just dipped the tip of that in some water. Just seeing if I can get this to be a bit bolder. I don't like that mixing in with the ink there. Let's give it some brightness there, doesn't it? It's making this turquoise green more of a feature in here. And I'm getting ink on it, so I'm just cleaning it off with my rag. Well, this is a mess. I don't know if I like it. Did I learn stuff from it? I think so. I learned that when it starts getting very busy, it's almost like too much for me to look at. And so that's why I put this white over there. I did overdo it. What I'm trying to play with is composition, having a good balance of darks and lights, getting some bright colors in here. So I do like the reddy oranges next to this turquoise. I quite like that. I like the line work up here. Would I frame this? Probably not. But it has been really fun, and I guess it's opened the door now for me to keep using this sketchbook and to see what I can learn from it to try to improve my art. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, put them down below in the comments. I try to respond to all comments in here. And thanks for watching. I'll try to have another video uploaded in a week.